Welcome back. It's the Gutsy Entrepreneur. And I want everybody to sit down, everybody to come around, grab a piece of paper, a pen, get a drink if you have to. Because today, I'm going to teach people about wealth. I'm going to teach you about wealth. I was having a conversation with a friend, and we were talking about Wakanda. And I told him Wakanda could never exist. And I'm about to explain to you why. And also, by using Wakanda as an example, I'm going to also give you lessons on wealth and wealth creation or wealth transfer. Now, Wakanda cannot exist because wealth cannot be created nor destroyed. Wealth can only be transferred. Think of wealth as energy because it is. Wealth is a massive form of condensed energy because everything you do is energy. Everything around us is energy. Let's go to the micro of this. Wakanda cannot exist because wealth cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. Think of all of the richest nations in the world. America, UK, Canada, Australia, Japan, Sweden, France, Germany, China, Russia. I can go on and on. But these nations are wealthy because they export, okay? And Wakanda cannot exist because Wakanda is an isolated country. They choose isolation and they do not trade with anyone. They do not have contact with anyone. But you can't be a wealthy nation that has no contact with anyone. Look at North Korea. North Korea has very little contact with the world, and look how wealthy they are. You cannot have contact or not have contact with other countries and be wealthy. Because in order for a country to be wealthy without going to war, is you have to export more than you import. And countries who export more than they import are rich. Or wealthy, rather. Because what is wealth? Wealth is in mass energy. Like I said, it's condensed energy in mass. Think about it. When you go to work, a lot of people think that, oh, you're getting paid for your skills or for you to do a certain job. Well, that may be true, but really you're getting paid for your time, which is energy. Time is nothing but energy. When you see someone at Walmart stocking shelves, they're getting paid for their time. In fact, most people get paid for their time. When you see a doctor, a lot of people say, well, he's getting paid for his knowledge and his skill. No, he's really getting paid for his time. Because to learn how to be a doctor, it takes time. You have to take time and go to school to learn your profession. So when you learn your profession, the time you use is synonymous with your skills. So when someone is paying you, they're paying for your time as a doctor because that's what you learned. That is your skill that you used time to learn. A lot of form of energy is force. Say that I have a table company and I use, my time to make tables and I sell them for money. Well, first of all, I have resources, wood and other things that I use to make the table. That's energy. I use my force to make the table. That's energy. I use my time as knowledge that I've accumulated to make the tables and design the tables. That is also energy. So basically, you're taking all of these different versions or, styles of energy and you're converting it into another form. You have your raw materials, which is one form, your time that comes in the form of your skills, which is one form, your force or the force that others use, your paid workers, that's another form of energy. And you're converting it all into this table, which is another form of energy. And then you take that form of energy and you sell it for money, which is another form of energy. All of these things are energy, and you're trading it for energy. Money is nothing but energy, because money represents the effort and time that someone somewhere had to put, or had to convert in order to buy that good or that service. All of the goods and services were not used to exchange their energy. If we decided not to exchange things, then there will be no such thing as money. But we exchange our energy, we exchange our resources, aka energy, our time, aka energy, and we exchange it for money, which is nothing but energy. So, wealth cannot be created nor destroyed, because wealth is energy. Wealth is energy. Money is just a different form of energy. Just like time is a different form of energy. And also, we have to understand that Wakanda could not exist because of this. Because they are a country which solely depends on themselves. But you cannot one day just have this type of primitive civilization and then all of a sudden you learn how to make skyscrapers. Where did you learn that from? Where did you get the materials from? You had to trade, because you just can't build skyscrapers with vibranium. You need other materials. To build all of these things, you need other materials. And you cannot get these materials just by not trading alone with the world being isolated. Nothing happens under a vacuum. If you get 5 people together and they only trade with each other, their resources is only with each other. But if 5 people in a group starts trading with people outside of the group, then there is no cap for that group. Their resources for that group then becomes unlimited. This is why some countries struggle economically. Look at all of the countries that are third world. They're usually countries that do not export or export very little. That's why just giving countries money will not help. Giving them aid will not help. Giving them aid to develop and things like that will not help. Because at the end of the day, people need to be more productive so you can export more. That is the only, unless a country goes to war, that is one of the only ways a country can get rich, is through exportation. They have to export, and in order for a country to export, the people have to be hyper productive. Now, I've been to a lot of different places. I've said this before, all around the world. Americans like to look at themselves as lazy, but I'm telling you, Americans are not lazy by any far. Even the laziest American is not lazy. Even the laziest American, if you compare them to a lot of other countries, are hyper productive. And that's why a lot of countries are rich. A lot of countries that export, because their people are hyper productive. We have to really understand money, and we really have to understand wealth. We really have to understand value. Let's look at the iPhone. If everyone stopped using the iPhone, it would still be valuable. It would still have some level of value to it. Now the value would drop down, but it would still have a level of value, because the materials made to make the iPhone is valuable. It still has value to it, regardless if anyone buys it. The things that I can do, the design, the thought, and the time and the effort that it took into designing it, into making it, the materials, mining the materials, refining the materials, the technology, everything, it still has value. If everyone stopped using, just like if everyone stopped using wooden tables, that doesn't mean that wood doesn't have any value. Wood would still retain some value in it. Trees will still have value. They will still be valuable. That's why wealth cannot be created, because what you're using to create the wealth is energy from somewhere else. You're just using that energy and taking that energy and refining it into a product, which you're exchanging it for a different form of energy. We have to understand this. Wealth cannot be created or destroyed, because wealth is energy. I hope this was of value. This is the Gutsy Entrepreneur. Like, share, subscribe, and like always, stay vigilant.